Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we are currently... What are we doing? Finishing up our war with Colombia? I guess? Yeah, that is indeed what we're doing. Are we justifying on anyone else? Yes, actually, we are. We are justifying on these guys up here. That's right. Okay, I've figured out what we're doing. Fantastic. We are wildly short on manpower, of course. And that's to be expected, I think. We'll go ahead and push on in over here. This really shouldn't be a problem, although apparently we lost a general here. We'll just tell that guy to be in charge. Perfect. Hello, pause menu. Wonderful. So we are pushing our way into Bogota, and I do expect that by the time we get there, yeah, these guys are withdrawing. Look at all those artillery units, though, but these guys... That's some awkward timing. Bogota just fell. They're going to capitulate here, right? They have no victory points. Brazil is at war with the U.S. Oh no, the U.S. is not in the war but can be called into it. Hopefully they capitulate before they call anyone in. Yes. Okay. That was really close. That was really close. We're just going to puppet Colombia. Done. Okay. So that's wonderful. So this army here, how many more does it need? It needs 131. Okay. So we have this division here. So we need 11 more divisions. Sounds good. Now, we're going to prepare for this. This is starting to get scarier and scarier as it's becoming more and more likely that some of these guys are going to join the American Union. That's something we need to remember. At some point, it's very likely to happen. I just don't think we can fight on this many fronts. Not right now. We're in much the same position the Allies were, in my opinion. And I don't think it's going to go well. So we're going to keep our world tension a bit lower. How long on this justification here? About 100 days. Okay, that'll give us some time to let this slow on down. So we're going to do a naval invasion order from here to here. We're also going to do a naval invasion order from here. They're not ready yet. To here. We're also going to do one from here to here. And also one from... here to here. Okay. Excellent. And that should get all of those ready to go. And that should deal with this no problem. In theory. That will, of course, become part of our Caribbean Defense Force. And they will get the order to garrison this region over here. Perfect. But they're not there yet, and it will be about 100 days before we're ready to declare this. So we're going to let our world tension drop. It actually did drop by almost 4%. That's slightly surprising, but okay. We'll happily take that. Yeah, we are low on manpower. There's no doubt about that one. So that is fine. And we have a lot of these units over here that need to be improved. So we are recruiting at a speed of 8 divisions at a time. And that's to work on bringing our manpower back on up. Of course, we also do have all of these guys. Oh, and I want to ask these gentlemen over here for foreign manpower to fill our garrisons. Fantastic. So that will be fine. And... I do believe that garrison manpower is separate from our regular manpower requirements and that like doesn't free up any additional manpower. So that's okay. We are at 958 total factories, and let's check in on our resource usages here. We're actually at only minus 155 steel. That's good. Now keep in mind that's going to change, of course, as we start cranking up our number of military factories again. That's definitely something to remember. We'll toss these guys in over here. So this now only needs a total of 9 additional units. That's great, and we do actually have 1.9 thousand manpower in the pool. That's just kind of chilling there. I'm very happy that we have that. So this is the last location that I know of in the Americas that is not part of the American Union. And then we're going to turn our eyes onto Europe, of course, as well as Africa. And we need to get a lot more nations on our side here before we spark the war. Now, I am still interested in maybe getting the US to go fascist. That would be amazing if that happened. That Silver Legion is just chilling at 30%. But maybe we could get that to happen. We only have 2 operatives right now? Why do we not have a 3rd operative slot? I'm confused. We did have a 3rd operative slot. Strange. Okay, the local resistance isn't too important over here. And we're not too interested in stealing the industrial blueprints either. I mean, I would love to boost ideology here, but it won't actually do anything. So I guess Agent 2 should probably be switched over to rooting out resistance somewhere. There is a decent amount of resistance over here, apparently. 19% in Chile. I guess we can do that. In the meantime, of course, we are still working on constructing our radar stations, and I do want to check how many extra military factories do we have. Still quite a lot, but as I said previously, I don't really want to become reliant entirely on our subject nation's military factories, so I'm only going to be removing, or rather converting factories in foreign locations. And I guess this could count as a foreign location. So I guess I'll convert these on out of here. And in fact, this should be at the highest of priorities. So let's go down here and find that. Actually, I'm going to cancel it. I'm just going to... That did not go well. Okay. Where in the queue could this be? It'll be before the repairs and after down here, probably. Maybe. I have no idea. In here somewhere, most likely. Ah, here it is. Okay, so we'll prioritize that at max prio. There we go. Oh, and I wanted to do these others as well. Okay, so we're going to get these on out of here. We're not going to get any of our homeland territories converting over just yet, though. And in fact, we may want to get those converting to purely military factories at some point. Yeah, we might want to do that. Convert all of these to military factories. We can lower the autonomy of the Turkish Empire. We can annex the Turkish Empire, actually. That's fascinating. Do we want to annex them? Honestly, they're most valuable to us as a source of manpower. They get a 50% malice due to being a Reichskommissariat. That's way less than our non-core state malice. That said, the compliance will bring that up by 20%. But even so, I don't think that it's actually in our best interest to do this at this time. If annexing them diplomatically in this way brought them in as core states, which, by the way, I do think that it should, then I'd be happy for that. But I don't think there's actually a good reason to do this. I'm going to make a save here and just kind of explain my thought process behind that. Now, we're probably going to revert back to this save unless something happens that I don't actually know about. But I'm going to go ahead and do this. But before I do, we can see that, say... Well, if we look at the Turkish Empire's intel ledger, we can see that they are at 79.25 thousand manpower. We don't actually see what their manpower growth is. Okay. So I guess we're going to have to kind of cheat this a bit to see how this is going to play out. So first things first, I'm going to open up a notepad here that unfortunately you're not going to be able to see, but I'm going to mark down that we are currently earning 25.61 thousand per month. And that's our income. Okay. So now I'm going to pop open debug mode, like so. And then I want to look at these guys. TUR. Okay, so just Turkey. So I guess we would tag into TUR, like that. Okay, and they are earning almost none. 779. Okay, so if we convert that into the same format as ours, that's 0.779k, or rounded to two figures, 0.78k. So then we tag back into Brazil. There we go. And we can turn debug mode off. But I want to see what this actually ends up doing. I've actually not done this before. So we annex them, and we get their forces, which is all well and good. We get their spare manpower as well, which is fantastic. And our growth went down. Isn't that interesting? And these come in at 0 compliance and 0 resistance strength. Now, that also surprises me. I would expect to bring them in at full compliance when you bring them in diplomatically. Or at least at high compliance, right? So we do get 16 divisions here, but I want to try something. I'm going to load back that save that we just made. Remember how the Turkish Empire gave us 460,000 manpower for our garrisons? That didn't actually end up doing anything because our garrisons are full? I want to try what happens if we go in here and we revoke their garrison support. Apparently we can't. That's odd. We can request control of a number of divisions from the puppet, which would be useful. Okay, so is that something that they have to do from their end? Let's check. Cancel garrison support. So we can't actually give them these troops back. But what if we do this? I'm curious, and I'm probably going to revert this because this is obviously not how the game is meant to be played, right? But what if we did this? Okay, so we just gave them back like 380,000, right? And then, now they would not currently do this because they don't have enough manpower, but we just gave them back all of their manpower. So they now have 450,000. And then we annex them. We did not gain that excess manpower. Isn't that interesting? That's very interesting to me. Now, that's probably a good thing. Because otherwise, the most efficient way to do this becomes really awkward. Because we can't cancel the garrison support from our end. Like, if we were to go to one of our other subject nations, like, say, Greater Finland. they won't accept this because they don't have enough manpower to give us. But they're already giving us... where is it? Are they not already giving us manpower? Well, I know that these guys are. Yeah, they're giving manpower to us for their garrisons. So we can't actually cancel that. So it's probably a good thing that we didn't end up getting that manpower. However, I want to try one more thing here. I'm just experimenting at this point, and honestly, this is one of my favorite parts of Paradox games when I'm in the learning stages, as I still am with Hearts of Iron, absolutely. And I mean, I'm always in the learning stages. There's always something new to be learned about Paradox games. But I'm very interested in trying one more thing here. And I don't usually do this experimentation on camera. I usually do this off camera, but I'm just inspired right now, I guess. So, here's the question. If we tag Turkey again, and we cancel the garrison support, that gets them all of this manpower back. However, they don't seem to have updated it yet. So we tag back into Brazil, and then we tick forward until the end of the month. We'll give them the month tick. I'm not caring about anything else that happens in the world right now. We're almost certainly going to revert this. But I'm fascinated to know what happens here. I mean, we've given them a day tick. They would not give us garrison support because they don't have enough manpower to give us. But yet they have 452,000. Okay, so it's 30 October right now. Let's see if that updates on the month tick. One more day here. Okay, so that's the month tick right there. Let's update this screen. They still think that they don't have enough manpower to give us. They used some of their manpower. We got the same amount. Okay, so that's good to know. That is very, very good to know. As I said, I'm going to revert this on back. But that's absolutely fascinating to me that there's some sort of a calculation in there that does not allow you to do that sort of manpower manipulation. Because if that was there, hypothetically, it would require use of the debug console and cheating. And in that case, why not just do like manpower 500,000? Oh, I hit the 0 button and went into a different scene. Why not just do like manpower 500,000, right? And then that goes through and gives you 500,000 manpower, right? It's basically that with more steps. And let's get rid of that. Manpower minus 500,000. I believe that's the correct number. Yes, indeed it is. So the idea was that you do something along the lines of this. And I actually want to test this as well. Tag Turkey. Okay, so we tag into here. Let's go ahead and cancel our garrison support here. That bumps us up to 452k. And then let's just give them like a lot of manpower, just for testing purposes. Manpower, and I'm just going to hold this for a while. There we go. That is an integer overflow. Okay. Manpower. There we go. So we're not going to have that much manpower. And we'll try again. Manpower, say something like that. 10 million manpower. Sure, we'll call that good. So this obviously integer overflowed us and bumped us into the negative minimum number for an integer. And sure, that's expected. So now let's tag back into Brazil. And let's go ahead and annex them. Yeah, we didn't get any of that manpower. So we get a set amount of manpower when they come in. And that manpower amount is not related to how much manpower they have. In fact, their manpower is still there. Interesting. Of course, we don't want any of that to pollute our current game, right? So we're going to load that back in. I just wanted to test that and see how that works. There's a set amount of manpower that annexing them will always give you, it seems. And that's probably based on their population and perhaps on their recruitment laws. What is this up here? I have no idea what that was, but sure. So, yeah, that was some testing there. And we're just going to annex them, I think. Or do we want to, though? They do have that 79k. Now, we only get 50,000. That's their deployed army manpower. We get their forces, but why would we necessarily want to do that when we can just request forces from them? We can request one division. I see. Interesting. I'm not very familiar with these systems, for sure, and it shows. But these sorts of experiments is how I figure these things out. That's very, very fascinating to me. Like I said, though, that was what I was trying to figure out initially was basically using the manpower cheat with more steps, since it's not possible to give them back their manpower from the garrison support unless it's in our decisions, maybe? I don't think it is. No. No, it's not in here. That's something that they do. Another kind of interesting thing that you could potentially do there is specifically make them angry. And I don't know with these options how you'd go about doing that. There's no real options to harm relations, but you could specifically try to make them angry through some mechanism that I don't know about. That might also be a cheats thing. But you could try to make them angry, get them to revoke their garrison support, or just never take the garrison support from them in the first place, and then annex them. But ultimately, I don't think that's super worthwhile. Now, 24.11k here. This number has actually changed since we made this save. That's weird, right? So yeah, we're getting almost exactly the same amount of recruitable growth that they were getting previously. We get access to all of these infantry divisions. And this is... I believe this is not one of our division templates. Honestly, I would kind of... I want to just double check this. I don't think this is our infantry division template. No, our infantry division template is just a combat width of 40 of infantry. And that's probably not the most efficient infantry template. In fact, I'm quite certain that it isn't. But this template here, I would kind of, if we're going to put them into garrison troops, I would kind of prefer that they just get disbanded. And that way we do get a good chunk of manpower from annexing Turkey. So all of the units will go back to the manpower pool at this point. And see, that nets us almost the amount of manpower that Turkey could get by revoking the garrisons. Interesting. That's very, very interesting. Now, I was not attempting to integrate Turkey there, but it's okay. I don't mind it necessarily. I think we're going to call that canon and move on forward. Now, it does bear noting that we're going to have some resistance over here. Because we don't start with a compliance bump. So let's go ahead and have, say, you come over here. Wait, this isn't that high. Now, we'll stay where we're at. That's fine. Well, I kind of feel like we didn't get much done this episode, but also I learned some interesting things about the way the annexation works. And some ways that I kind of disagree with the way it works, but I'm sure there's solid reasons for them to work the way that they do. It is time to put a cut in here, and I kind of feel like nothing got done, but also a lot of things got done in a weird sort of way. So I think I'm just going to put an end to this kind of strange episode, and next episode, we'll move on and have it be maybe a little more normal. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.